Hello and welcome to another episode of Discover with Spinati. I'm your host, Dr. Spinati, and today on episode number 123, we're talking about the essence of life and business, which is relationships. And I, unfortunately, have learned this the very hard way. Even though I've read this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, I've read it eons ago. And the habit number 4 talks about win-win. Now, when you talk about win-win, you are literally talking about a relationship because when you say win-win, you are referring to someone else winning as well as you winning. So how do you do that? How do you form this win-win kind of notion in your life so that you can build good relationships and succeed in life and in business? Well, if you were to learn from my mistakes, then we're going to be here for a very long time. But luckily, I have some really good examples that are going to speed things up. So the first thing is that when you're considering a win-win, you have to shift your mind into thinking that there's enough for everybody. Now, pause for a second, because if you're thinking to yourself, well, isn't business supposed to be competitive? Isn't life supposed to be competitive? No. Certain aspects of life, certain aspects of business, yes. So if the one business is competing against another business, yes, that's a competition. They're not trying to form a relationship. But within the business, even when people are trying to compete within the business, there should be a win-win type of deal. So it's not one person wins and the other person loses. It's everybody wins. Now, how does that work? That works with you thinking that there's enough for everybody and that when you are faced with a situation, you don't want to think in terms of compromise. Now, here's the thing. I did a little bit of looking up and researching with regards to what this, compromise kind of thing. And a lot of people say that when you compromise, you're actually going into a lose-lose situation because neither party is getting what they want, or one party is getting what they want, the other one is not. And so either resentment's going to build from one side or both sides. And so you're not really winning. But another side says you shouldn't say you're compromising, you should say you're collaborating. And one of the examples they bring up is, let's say two friends, one wants to go out to dinner, the other wants to watch a movie. And so they say, well, how about we order in and we watch a movie at home? Well, I mean, if you were to think about it, and they call this collaboration because apparently that means that both of them have won. But I would argue and say, well, that's not really the case because they both had to compromise. They're not going out to dinner and they're certainly not going out to watch the movie. So they got kind of what they wanted, but not exactly what they wanted. I would probably say a better situation would be tonight we'll go to dinner, tomorrow we'll do movies, right? That's a win-win situation. Don't you think that's a better situation than to compromise? So yeah, this whole compromise collaboration, it's all semantics. I think that in order for you to win, in order for the other person to win, it cannot be done at the exact same time. That's all I got to say. Because if it's done at the exact same time, then it's going to be a compromise. And it's not really going to be a win-win. It's going to be either a win-lose, it's going to be a lose-win, it's going to be a lose-lose, right? But you're trying to think win-win. Now, this habit number 4 is smack dab in the middle, or right in the middle of being effective. So then when you're dealing with people, when you're in a relationship, whether it's intimate or if it's business, the habit that Steve Covey is trying to inculcate in all of us is for us to think in terms of not just me, but to think in terms of what does the other person want. And so the framework to think about it is this: is literally to put it on a sheet of paper or whatever, on a board, and to literally outline what is it that you want from this relationship, what is it that I want from this relationship, and then let's see how both of us can win. Now, I got one piece of advice from someone that I admire, and he said this to me a long time ago because I saw that he was really good at relationships. And I said, what's your secret? What's your secret to having a really good relationship? And he said, pick your battles. Now, if you were to think about picking your battles in a win-win situation, that's exactly what it is. Because you cannot have it all in a relationship. You can't. I don't care what you're going to think of. There is no way in a relationship you're going to have it all. If you're going to have it all and you're aiming to have it all, no longer is this a relationship. Now it's a competition, right? Because the best person wins it all. But in a relationship, you can't have it all, but you can pick your battles. So you can pick what is the most important to you, what's the most important to them, and then come to an agreement so that both of you can understand that, yes, you're not going to get everything, but we're both going to get what's most important to us. So is that going to mean a compromise? Yes. Can you call it a collaboration? Sure. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. So that's it. Habit number 4, think win-win. Think in abundance. Yes, it means compromise. Yes, it means collaboration. But the most important thing is for you to understand that both of you, both sides of the party in a win-win situation have to get what is most important to them, and the rest, well, guess what? You have to compromise. Hope this helped. Have yourself a wonderful day. And as always, keep smiling.